this is all for entertainment purposes only, and it is all allegedly, just for the record. I think one of the first things I want to do here is honor and recognize what we are all dealing and living with right now, which is a huge sense of not knowing while we are waiting, while there's this huge, ripe, pregnant pause in the air, and stranger and weirder and dangerous things are continuing to happen at a rapid pace, and our officials really aren't talking about it. And I really want to recognize that and honor that we are all living in that, and we know very soon something is going to happen. We just don't know what that is. What I will say about that spiritually, that is one of the most difficult things we have to learn how to do as humans here on the planet, and we are doing that right now as a collective. So just keep that in mind. Now, I have a primary message to deliver for you today, and it is one of the most disjointed, rambly, circly messages I think I have for you today. So you're just going to have to bear with me, all right? And let me just start from the top on that. I'm just going to walk you through the story, and through the story, you're going to glean what you need to know about this. So the last time I delivered psychic reporting to you about the situation that we have going on, you're going to have to read between the lines on that. I was reporting to you that I was feeling all sorts of sensations through my body and getting all messages about all the things happening behind the scenes concerning the contest, all the information and evidence and all of that was falling into place, and that was coming into culmination. And so my thinking was like, that was all going to start to land on Thursday or Friday of this week. And so I forgot about it. I got busy with other things. Spirit team had me on the Orbs and Galactic Federation of Light, and I literally forgot about the contest. And then I surfaced Friday with that Speaker of the House vote. It was like some part of me went, something's happening. And I did something I never do. I turned on the internet to watch the vote live. Bad idea for a highly sensitive intuit like me, because then I'm sucked into all of that energetic stuff. But I watched it long enough to know that, psychically speaking, Mike Johnson was not supposed to win that vote, and he didn't. And then the votes got phoned in after. Isn't that interesting? And all my bells and whistles went off on that. And that's when I started getting pissed off. That's when I really started getting pissed off. Because I have been of this sense of like, the other shoe's getting ready to drop, and it's right there. It's right there. Where is it? That's when things started getting really interesting with Spirit World. They literally cloaked me in white light, shielded me in white light. And then I had a series of them come through and say this really disconcerting thing of, it's about ready to begin to happen, and we wouldn't wish this on you in a million years. Just know this. What you all are going to walk through is going to be very difficult. They also said, everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. They did say that, but there was an emphasis on you're going to have to walk through something that's going to be really uncomfortable and really unpleasant and really kind of scary, and but we've got you. So folks, I am transparently sharing with you some of the personal messages I've been receiving that I normally wouldn't share publicly, just so you know the landscape that I'm walking through as a psychic. Remember, we're all on a need-to-know basis. Now, so that closed out last night. I'm recording this on a Saturday right around 12 noon Pacific Daylight Time, Saturday, December the 4th, right? Then I got up this morning with a penchant to just run the pendulum. And you should see the pages of pendulum notes I have been running. Anyway, so I woke up this morning running the pendulum, trying to figure it out, like going deep into energy space, like on Monday of this week, which is the certification, and into this week, and running the pendulum on Kamala, and running the pendulum on, really trying to drill down on it, in that psychic space of just show me, right? We go through that too. Psychics go through that too. I was using my powers to try to see through the veil. This is what happened to me. I will share with you what happened to me this morning. I will tell you, percentage-wise, Trump is less than 5% of getting into office. Kamala Harris is at 95% of getting into office, okay? But Monday is murky. Monday, the certification is real murky, and this is what happened to me when I went into it. I was energetically there in the certification, and then partway through the certification, spirit world pulled me out, yanked me out, cloaked me in white light, sat me down, and white lighted the rest of the week. So either A, I'm not supposed to know, we're not supposed to know, we're just supposed to live through it, or they stopped me from seeing what happens because it would be too dangerous for me to see what happens. And again, we're all just going to need to live through it. And so what I can tell you folks is the wait is almost done. We're almost there. We're going to begin to find out. The second thing I can tell you is it's not what we think it's going to be. And that is the mistake I have been making, and I think a lot of us have been making. We are so focused on Trump and Kamala. We're not standing back looking at the forest for the trees enough to see what is really going on. What is really going on is Pluto. What is really going on is Pluto running the show, and right after that, avian flu running the show. And so this is where I want to shift my message. If we are so locked on to the contest and who gets into office, we are missing the point. Here's the point. The point is that Pluto is now in Aquarius. Pluto is death and rebirth. Pluto is transformation. Pluto rules Scorpio, which is all about digging deep down into the darkness and shadows and finding out all the secrets and finding out all the truth. Pluto is also in the house of Aquarius, which is about humanitarianism. So this is Pluto coming into the house of humanitarianism, kicking ass, taking names later, not asking any questions, just going into action and beginning to upend anything that is not supportive of humanitarianism. It's upending anything that is holding secrets or mistruths that get in the way of humanitarianism. And Pluto is just going to do its thing. So when we step back from the bigger picture of everything going on, what I can tell you is what begins to happen next week is so much more than the contest and who gets into office. It is about unraveling the shadow. It is about unraveling the lies and finding out the truth. It is about shining light into darkness. Now, we've seen Pluto already do this in France, Germany, South Korea, and a number of other places. Guess what? It's our turn. This is our turn. This is our turn where Pluto is going to come into our house, literally, and I'm going to talk about our house. Pluto is going to come into our house and kick our asses to get to the bottom of things, to find out what's really going on. Now, let's go back to that house vote, because I think this is really important. And I am going to tie this into this horribly funny personal ha-ha moment for me. So let's set the stage. Let's go back to the house, that house vote with Mike Johnson. Now, I don't think it's an accident that I went in and looked, because while I was in there, Spirit team said to me, they were over my shoulder, looking through what I was looking at, like I was looking into the live vote. The Spirit team said, Dana, you're looking right at it. And I'm like, Jesus effing Christ, what the F am I looking at? Yeah, my potty mouth gets really bad when I get pissed off. And they wouldn't tell me, And see, this is doing your spiritual walk on planet Earth, going through your growth and your hurts and your pains and your learning cycles. That's what we're doing as a collective right now. And Spirit team kept saying to me, you're looking at it. And that's when I went into a pendulum frenzy on Saturday morning, like, show me the answer. Show me the answer. Ooh, God, we are living through some effed up shit right now, right? Here's the answer. So I woke up this morning, not only with the pendulum thing, but I woke up this morning. This is the funny ha-ha thing. Spirit team said to me, Dana, it's time to clean house. After I've been looking at Speaker of the House vote in the House, I woke up this morning and they said it's time to clean house. Now, you know what's significant about this? This is very significant personally. Spirit world, this is so gross to admit. Spirit world has not let me clean my own house for months, people. Months. Now, I am Virgo. I keep a tidy house. I keep a clean house. I love things straight and orderly and the corners cleaned, and like I am on that. And so to let my house get dirty, it's like, it's horrible. It's awful. I woke up this morning after that Mike Johnson in the House vote thing. I woke up this morning and Spirit Team said, it's time to clean house. And I was like, so really, I'm like, finally I can clean house. But I didn't get the symbolic significance. And I start getting into it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm cleaning house. And I'm looking at the pendulum stuff and Mike Johnson and Speaker of the House and the House vote and looking into the chambers of the House. It's time to clean house, people. It is time to clean house. Yes, it is important about the Trump-Kamala thing. It is more important that we are cleaning house. Now, I know some of you go in and watch those votes, and I know a lot of us are going to go in and watch that certification on Monday. And when you go in and look at that certification on Monday, I want you to look through it with a couple of filters. Look through it with the real filter of democracy and process. And then look through the filter and see that the house, the fabric of the top cover looks like democracy. But really, the house is where all that multi-billionaire stuff does business and takes place. It's this really dark shadow work about money and power. And we get sold the bill of goods about democracy. That's what we think we see on the top. But really, it's the House. The House of the U.S. Congress, the core workings of it are totally about money, sponsorship, and power that doesn't have anything to do with us. Remember, they're fighting over us. Remember, we're 16th down on the list of that pendulum check I did before. I'll run it across the screen. So you need to know when you are watching that certification, it looks like democracy in action, but is it? Is it? What is the fabric of democracy covering? And that's where the house cleaning is going to take place, okay? This is where Spirit World wants me to make mention of. You think it's an accident, there's chem fog. You think it's an accident, there's all this stuff about, the Dior bags in the skies and the orbs. Do you think it's an accident, all of those weird random bombings going off and the connections between those people? And I want to give a shout out to Bethany Frankel and confirm to her what she recently released this morning about that whole China thing. I pendulum checked the Dior bags in depth, and I kept bumping up against that C word. And every time that I did, Spirit Team shut me down. They're like, you don't go there. You don't talk about this. Shut it down. They will not let me talk about it because of that. Bethany Frankel is right. I will confirm that she is right. And I have known this for weeks about what she just released this morning, Saturday morning, about the Dior bags in China. So, folks, this is what I want to let you know. If all this weirdness is going on and it's getting sketchier and more intense and stranger, we are really close to revealing the 8-headed monster sitting in the House of Reps, sitting in the Senate. And remember a long time ago in one of my recordings, I said that thing about the SHIT geysers going off. There was this whole symbolic thing. I kept seeing SHIT geysers go off right before the election. We're there. We're there. The deal is 11th hour. We are headed into the 11th hour. We are there. This is when it happens. Okay. And in that 11th hour, darkest dark before the greatest light. And the other piece of this that I will tell you is, this is shadow work at its finest. Remember, I am a shadow work coach. I am a conscious presence practice somatic queen. This is my house. This is my wheelhouse. And what I can tell you is that when clients and we get down to the depths of what's in the tissues. Remember, issues are in the tissues. We are now getting into the issues of the tissues of the House of Reps and the Senate with this whole thing. When you get down into that deepest part of the greatest shadow, that's where the monster throws the biggest fit. The monster's throwing the biggest fit before it loses its power. That's why it's throwing a fit, because it knows it's going to lose its power. So what does that mean for us? What that means for us is what I'm beginning to see a lot of people talk about, and I confirm this. This next stage of the process, and we're basically doing a collective exorcism into a collective healing the collective healing is going to take some time. But as we head into this, these are the things that I can give to you as far as the things you can do through this process. And this is especially for the sensitive folks, highly empathic, highly intuitive, highly psychic, neurodivergent. Those of us who are really, really tuned in, and some of those who are beginning to go, I think I better pay attention. Yeah, you better pay attention. The thing I can tell you is it's important for you to do what Spirit Team began to do with me. I want all of you white light bubbling this week. White light bubble your interior. White light bubble your exterior. You call in your highest and best, your Spirit Team. Anchor in those guard angels to provide support, protection, and guidance for you. You need to be in the most empowered state of your safety bubble as we roll through this thing. I highly suggest that you are not doing things in public. If you can, stay out of public. I'm not saying stay home as much as possible, but stay out of public and stay out of deeply populated public events, so to speak. Pay attention to your intuition. Your intuition on an individual basis, your intuition is going to guide you through this, okay? And if you do not feel grounded, that's okay. Spirit Team is letting me know there is a reason they pulled me out of my body and put me in white light. That may happen for some of you. I know I'm the person that says, get grounded, get present, get in your body, run your light field. And that still stands overall. But we may be headed into some situations here where if Spirit World pulls you out of your body and wraps you in white light, let them. Do not fight that. That is going to be an important part of the process for you. And the last thing I am going to leave you with is what I believe we are about ready to begin to live through. We are going to leave the structure of our democratic leadership as we know it, and we are going to move through a transformative time, and then we are going to come into an era of true democratic leadership, as it always should have been in the first place. That's the transfer of power that we're going through now. The transfer of power is leaving the puppet democratic government with other things running it. And now we're going to move through a time where that transformation is going to happen, where we actually begin to move into a place of more true democratic, feminine-run leadership. That's what the timelines have been showing us. It's probably going to happen over a period of time, but just be aware that how you think it's going to happen, if you hang on to how you think this thing is going to happen, it's going to be harder for you. You need to be in a place of watching the events that are going to unfold in front of us. Allow the old, dark, shadowy stuff to rear its head and roll through. Keep yourself in that white, safe light. And we will begin to land on the other side of this as the pieces of the puzzle begin to fall into place again. That's all I've got for you. That's as transparent as I can possibly be, being truthful to you about the tough stuff, but also being hopeful to you about how we're going to live through this. Deep down in my heart, I do know we are going to make it. We are just going to live through some pretty gnarly landscape between now and the time that we're going to get there. Please make sure you keep checking that your faith is larger than the storm. Our faith being larger than the storm is what is going to get us through this thing. So I think now it is time for me to go clean house. All right? I will see you in the next video with a whole bunch more information.